Hey everybody, Atlantic here, and today was a very weird day for me, because, just hear me out. I was just trying to get, a juice box from a refrigerator that I recently bought, and this happened. Why is there a copy of Mario and Sonic at the Olympic Games here? Wait a minute. What? Maybe the buyer left it in the refrigerator when he sold it to me. Wait, who did I buy this off again? Oh no. So yeah, that's pretty weird, right? I mean, I ran all the way out of the basement, and now I'm just sitting here wondering what's going on with that copy. Oh my god, why is it here? Well, clearly the only reason behind this is possessment, so if I don't want to get killed, I might as well have to talk about this game. This can be one painful ride, folks. So Mario and Sonic at the Olympic Games is a Nintendo Wii game that came out in 2007. And it's basically a minigame compilation featuring Mario and Sonic going to the Olympics. That's it. And yet they freaking messed it up. Now I'm pretty sure your first thought when you think of this is, wait a minute. That's a thing that exists, and I might as well say to you, it does exist. I'm holding it. That means it exists. Or I'm just still in the mental hospital after the 5 months. So how I got my hands on this game is I used to play it at my cousin's house because I liked playing the London Mario and Sonic at the Olympic Games, which I have over there. And I played this at my cousin's house, and back in 2014, I got this game because they just let me have it. And that was one of the biggest tragedies of the decade. So now the next thing to do is actually play this thing. Well, how to do it someday. Also, just saying, for the format of this video, I'm basically going to be going over, the mini-games, just, each, type of minigame one by one, and I'm also going to talk about the character roster. So, yeah, it's going to be simple like that, so nothing, too in-depth, but just that, so just saying that in advance. So first I'm going to talk about the character roster here, which is actually a pretty good roster, if I do say so myself. It has all the major characters that you really want from the Mario and the Sonic series. And then there's Vector the Crocodile. Why did they put Vector the Crocodile out of all characters in it? Couldn't they have put somebody like Silver on it? But then again, a year before this released...
It's no use! It's no use! It's no use!
I think Sega really just wanted to forget about Silver, so they just put in Vector the Crocodile instead. And I mean, I don't blame them. When they make a horrible game, they want to forget about it the most. And I mean, yeah, I'd agree. So the first minigame I'd like to talk about is all the running events. So basically just track. It's basically you just shake the Wiimote over and over again to try and run all the time. But wait, it's not just the Wiimote, you have to use the nunchuck as well, which is completely pointless. And also, when you're trying to do it upstairs, let me just say, it's really, really awkward when you're trying to do it upstairs and people from downstairs hear it. Okay, come on, I gotta run on this. Okay, just saying, this is actually how you do it. I used to think that you actually have to run to do this. Come on! I think I might have accidentally left the gas on in there again. You know, I might as well rate these mini-games when I'm going through them, so the running events, I give a 5 out of 10. Next, I'd like to talk about all the field events, which is mostly just all the throwing stuff like javelin throw and hammer throw, which basically you swing the Wiimote a lot and try and make it go the farthest on the field. It's okay. It's nothing that special, but I mean, it works. It's still a waggle fest, but I mean, it's at least somewhat enjoyable, so I personally give it a 6 out of 10. Next up is the trampoline minigames, which is basically gymnastics. And basically, you swing the Wiimote up a couple times to try and get people to jump, then you have to do a button combo to do tricks, which is actually really fun, and I think this is so far the best minigame we've gone through. I would personally give this game a 7 out of 10. The next minigame up is Skeet, or as I like to call it, just shooting. Basically, it's kind of a shooting minigame where you shoot a gun at into that little heart thing to try and keep your reticle a good size. Then you have to try and shoot like little discs, and you have to try and shoot all of them to get the most points. This is probably the best minigame out of the entire collection, because this is just really fun to play. It reminds me a lot of Wii Play, the shooting minigame from Wii Play. So overall, I'd personally give this minigame an 8. You know, this minigame's actually influenced me to try and start doing gun shooting. Okay, so I think I'm holding it correctly. I'm holding the sniper perfectly well. Okay, and 3, 2, 1. Ow! Frick! Well, now that I've sustained an eye injury and I had to put this towel underneath it, because who cares about going to the hospital? So, I'll continue with it, but overall the shooting game is still great. Next up, we have basically canoeing, or as they call it, single skulls, which I don't get. It's actually, it's just kind of boring. It's basically just pressing buttons and shaking the Wiimote over and over again while hearing the same sound effects from the character you choose. Which, that's the main problem of it, is the sound effects, because let me just show you something. You think that's annoying? You think that's repetitive? You think that's enough of you saying good? Well, so do I, because that's annoying as all heck. In fact, I can kind of understand why Waluigi never made it into any of this, because he's annoying! So, this game gets like a 4. Next minigame up is archery, or as the game calls it, archery. Thank God they finally got a name correct there. So anyways, the problem I have with archery here is that the controls are so weird. You have to press A and B at the same time, bring the Wiimote back, and then use, I think, the nunchuck to try and aim the... Oh yeah, actually no, you don't use the nunchuck, you use the Wiimote, but you have to follow a certain, like, highlighted area. It's so confusing and so weird, and I just don't like it. Oh wait, actually now I memorize it. The nunchuck is that highlighted area, so you have to move both the nunchuck and the Wiimote, and it's just confusing. It's not fun. This game gets a 4 out of 10. Next up is swimming, but first, before that starts, I want to just mention something. So in this minigame, they don't change the models for Eggman or Sonic at all, so Dr. Eggman's wearing his full set of clothes, so is Wario, and Sonic here, let me show you for this. I mean, I get the joke about how Sonic isn't able to swim, but still, one of these is not allowed in the Olympics, I just don't know which one is worse. Anyways, so in this minigame, you have to try and just swim to the end. But here's the problem with it. You huddle the Wiimote and the nunchuck together all the time, and there's also this breath meter that you have, which is a little heart that you always have to keep up. And I have just sucked at this minigame so much. I just can't keep the breath meter up because it's so weird and goes down so quickly. It's not a good minigame. This gets a 3. Next up is fencing, and just look at this Sonic picture. Anyways, the problem I have here with fencing is that it just kind of lasts for too long, and also, it's just kind of repetitive, because, so you swing the Wiimote to hit somebody with the fencing sword, but it seems like always, you hit somebody with the fencing sword, then they hit you back, then you hit them back, you know what I mean. It's boring because it's just the same thing over and over again, and it goes to, like, 11 or 15 points. It's just kind of boring, but not terrible. I give this one a 5. Next up is ping pong, or table tennis as it's called, and, by God, they did it. They made the worst version of tennis on the Wii. Congratulations, Sega, you could do something fantastic. Anyways, the reason I think this is the worst kind of table tennis, or just tennis on the Wii in general, is because the controls are so freaking stiff. It's so slow and stiff, and I just hate it. And And when I'm trying to hit the ball, I have to swing the Wiimote up, and it goes down quickly, and I don't have enough time to react. It's not a fun game. It really isn't. Nintendo nailed this, twice actually. Even companies who made, like, freaking Balls of Fury, which, by the way, is a game that actually exists, probably has better controls than this. This game gets a 2 out of 10, and is the worst game in the compilation. I'll say one good thing about the ping pong in this. Your character doesn't, like, absolutely spaz out all the time like in this game, so, I mean, this is still a better version of it, but, I mean, you don't spaz out all the time, so I guess that's a point for that. So those are all the major events in the game, but there's also these things called dream events, which are basically more kind of weird versions of the Olympic Games, but just, like, more creative and have a lot of Mario and Sonic references. It's a lot better in some of the newer Mario and Sonic games, but in this one, it's just kind of bland. I mean, Dream Race is the only one that I've actually ever played, because that's the only one I ever unlocked. But it's actually kind of okay, and I'd say even better than the original normal racing. It's basically Mario Kart, but you're racing, and you get items as well, and it's actually really alright. I'd give the Dream version of this probably a 6 out of 10. That's all for Mario and Sonic at the Olympic Games, and overall, it's not that good of a game. Most of the minigames are either okay or really bad. In some cases, some of the worst minigames I've ever seen on the Wii, and there's only like 2 or 3 good minigames. I know there's also like circuit stuff, but I didn't care enough to play more of the game, so overall, it's not that fun of a game. Anyways, I really need to get this eye injury fixed. I don't even know if there's one in there anymore. And I think I finally have enough confidence to finally go get a juice box. I've been so thirsty for so long, and I need to go back to that refrigerator. Hopefully there's not another crappy Sonic game in there. Okay, I'm not ready for this.